Good morning. We're going to take a look today at how to solve a inequality, and we have two different examples here. So we're going to take a look at them really quickly. And the thing we need to remember is that solving an inequality is exactly the same as solving an equation. It's just if we multiply or divide by a negative number, we have to switch the sign. So here we go. First thing I want to do is get the x's on the same side of the equal side of the inequality. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. That will leave me with 6 is less than or equal to 2x minus 24. All right, add 24, add 24, and I'll get 30 is less than or equal to 2x divided by 2 divided by 2. I'll get x is less than or equal to, that's 30, 15. For our second problem, same basic idea, but we have an added layer of complexity in that we have a quadratic expression. Now, even if we haven't talked about quadratics, you can still do this problem. So what's it mean when two things are right next to each other? It means multiply. So that means this x is getting multiplied to everything inside the other binomial. X times x is x squared. X times 4 is 4x. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times 4 is negative 20, which is less than or equal to, same process, x times x is x squared. X times negative 5 is negative 5x. 6 times x is positive 6x. 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. Now this may look scary because we have squared terms, but notice how I have x squared on this side and I have x squared on the right side, which means when I subtract x squared from both sides, these will cancel out, and I'm just left with 4x minus 5x minus 20 is equal to negative 5x plus 6x minus 30. So really, this problem hasn't changed its nature, right? This is still solving a linear inequality just like this, even though we ended up with this x squared. So we should be in good shape from here on in. So let's combine the pieces that we can combine. So we get negative 1x, because 4 minus 5 is negative 1, minus 20 is less than or equal to. We'll combine those together, and we'll get 1x is minus 30. All right. So let's add 20 to both sides. And we'll get negative 1x is less than or equal to 1x minus 10. Well, we need to get the x's on one side, so let's go ahead and subtract 1x from both sides. So we get negative 2x, because negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2, is less than or equal to negative 10. Now, notice how we have a negative x. And earlier in this explanation, we talked about we do everything the same we normally do, except if you multiply or divide by negative, you have to switch the sign. The alligator wants to eat the other side, right? So let's divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. And since I divided by a negative, we are going to have to flip the sign. And we'll end up with x is greater than or equal to 5, because negative divided by negative is a positive, 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now, there's another way we could have done this. And the other way is when we're over here, we could have, instead of added 20 to both sides, and I'm trying to shoehorn this thing in. What I could have done is I could have added added 1x, add 1x. It'll give me negative 20 is less than or greater than 2x minus 30 plus 30 plus 30, and that will give me 10 is less than or greater than 2x divided by 2 divided by 2, and I get 5 is less than or equal to x. Notice how these two statements are identical. We're saying that x is greater than or equal to 5, and that's what we're saying here. X, this side has to be bigger or equal to this side. So it doesn't matter which way you do this. Either way will work.